by Tampa Bay's real producers and with none other than Tampa Bay's real producers, such as Samantha Boyd, who we have in house today. Good to see you, Sam.
Good to see you. Thank you
How
so
are
much for
you?
having me.
It's an honor to have you. If you don't know Samantha, we've actually featured her as a team leader with Robert Slack in one of our previous magazine issues with Tampa Bay Real Producers. I think that was maybe a year and a half ago now.
Yeah.
That we had you in there, and I think we've even featured you in a separate section for our Making a Difference spotlight, I believe, with a particular nonprofit organization that you were affiliated with. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, I think we did the Making a Difference. I think we did travel, pets. I'm all over.
All over the
Yeah.
place. We just couldn't get enough.
Yeah.
Couldn't get enough of Samantha Boyd. And you guys will see why if you don't know her in just a minute. But today we get a chance to dive into your story a little bit more and how you got yourself to be a butt-kicking team leader with Robert Slack. So I know that you have I've met some of your team, I know at some of our events, and they absolutely adore you and love you. And I would love to talk about just some of your principles on team building. So we'll dive into that. But why don't we start with your background? So did you grow up in this area? If not, how'd you get here? And how'd you get an interest in real estate?
So it's a long story, but I'll make it a little bit shorter because I know there's other things to talk about. I moved to Tampa in 2019 from Maryland. So I was practicing real estate independently in Maryland for about 5 years, and then we moved down, my husband and I. And we just wanted to change a pace. We lived in a particularly small town in Maryland, and we grew up there, and it just kind of felt like we don't have kids. Like, now's the time to make the leap. So we did, and never looked back. It's been amazing down here.
Very cool. What made you pick this area?
My brother-in-law moved down here like 2 years before.
Nice.
And convinced my husband that instead of spending, hundreds of dollars on flights every few months to visit him, we could just live here and then we could travel other places again. So, yeah, definitely my brother-in-law moving down was the kick in the butt that we needed.
That makes sense. It was a pretty good choice, huh, for you
Yes.
guys? Did you go right to Hillsborough County, Tampa area, or where'd you guys move to?
Yeah. So we started in like the Brandon, Riverview area. And then we hadn't, I don't know, we weren't like fulfilled by that. So it's really suburbs out there. And that was a step up from the more rural area that we were from, but we wanted to taste the city life. So we moved downtown, tried that out for a year. And then we just bought a home last February, 2 Februarys ago, in like the North Hyde Park area.
Nice. It's a great area. Congrats. Yeah,
you.
that's a beautiful. We actually, I think I told you before, there was a franchise that I used to run for neighborhood publications and magazines, and that is one of the neighborhoods that we produce a magazine for. I think it's called Hyde Park Living.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yep.
Yeah. We'll
really
have to
cool.
have you in that too. I know that's a whole other thing that we can
Great.
feature you in. But is your husband in the real estate business with you?
No, so he's actually going back to school right now.
Okay.
He's getting a bachelor's in applied mathematics. So he's
Look
a
at that.
huge nerd, prefers
How about
not to be on
that?
the phones.
You're
Real
the people
estate's not for
person and
him.
he's the analytical guy?
Most days, yeah.
It's a good combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. So were you in real estate in Maryland?
Yes, yeah. So I practiced for 5 years there. I started off actually as a Redfin showing agent.
Okay.
Realized that there was way more money to be made actually selling properties.
Sure.
Joined a team. And after about a year there, I went on my own. So getting my own leads, working my own sphere business, things like that. But the team experience that I had was really, really impactful in my career. I learned so much from my team lead at the time.
That's cool.
And I have no idea where I'd be had I not started there.
And that was in Maryland?
Yes.
Okay. So when you came here to Tampa, did you already have something in planned and mapped out as to how you were going to get hooked up, or did you kind of have to start over?
Well, so I got my license for Florida while we were still living there. We actually flipped our home. So like in the midst of construction, I'm doing all my testing and stuff, right? And then I started looking for a brokerage, and I knew that I'd want to join a team again because I didn't know anybody down here, and it takes a minute to kind of kick things off. And I found an Indeed ad for Robert Slack,
Okay.
and it said that they would give you 20 to 30 leads a month for no fees. And to be honest, when I saw it, I said to my husband, "This is a scam.
Yeah.
like this is fake news." But I'm also a gambler, so I said, "Let me just try it
Yeah.
for 2 months. And if it doesn't work out, what did I really lose?" I was very pleasantly surprised that it was not a scam. And I share this story openly with anybody that's looking to join the team because we all feel that way. It's like, how in the world are they providing this much value for nothing?
Yeah.
Like there's no catch, there's no, rug being pulled out from under you. So as an independent agent in Maryland, I probably 5 to 7 million was my average, and I was super happy with that. It was comfortable. But my first year here with Robert Slack, I did 10 million. It was actually only 9 months in production before I became a team lead. So I did 10 million, 35 deals where Robert Slack leads, and I made one friend and sold them a house.
That's awesome.
So like, you can't.
Solid first year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So once, I got a taste of what Robert Slack truly was, there was no turning back.
Very cool. So that was 2019?
So I got down here in October of 2019. So 2020,
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Right in the heat of COVID, I take it, huh?
Yeah, that was super fun. Very happy that we had moved to Florida at the time because Maryland was completely shut down.
Right.
We don't have to get into the politics of those decisions, but we were very grateful to be where we were.
Yeah, I think many people can relate to that for sure. So that year is when you were doing more individual production in 2020 with Robert Slack. And then obviously now ever since I've known you, you've been on that team leader side and focused on that side. When did that transition start to happen?
So September of 2020, I became a team lead.
So it was pretty quick within that first full year then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There was an interview process, and I thought that they were insane again for choosing me. I think at the time, I must have been 26 years old. So I was like, what in the world?
So this wasn't even on your radar necessarily. That wasn't your plan. They just approached you about it because they thought you'd be great at it.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story. One of my team members now was on the team with me, and she called me when she knew that the spot opened up, and she was like, "Sam, you have to apply for this." I was like, "You're an insane person." I'm 26. I just got down here. There's no way. And I said, again, I'm a gambler, right? I'll just do it. I'll just interview, and I'll never forget getting the call like, "Hey, we'd really like to offer you this position," and asking if I could wait 2 days to think about it because I hadn't really thought it was going to be a thing, right? Yeah. And so that night I got home and I told my husband, listen, I can do the team lead thing and I can still sell, 10 million plus a year. It's not going to be a big deal. Well, I very quickly realized you can do one or the other and be a wife, right? There's 2 out of 3 options that you have. So I've taken a step back from production, but I'm super happy in my team lead spot.
Yeah. So there are, I've interviewed some people who are team leaders or even brokers who still self-produce, right? And then there's also, I think sometimes it's cultural in some organizations that's almost frowned upon, and the team leader or the broker is just all about supporting the team and they don't do any production. Is there a cultural component to that at all with Robert Slack, or is it just an individual decision?
Well, we come out of production, so we're not on lead flow or anything like that, right? The whole goal is to support our agents, support our team members, make sure that they're getting all of the resources that they need. But I do, so when I say that I'm out of production, that's what I mean is I'm out of lead flow. Right. I do still sell whenever
just
I have my own sphere
network,
business.
right.
Yeah. And I think that that's really important. So I agree with you. There are some teams where that's absolutely taboo. You should just refer it to one of your agents. But this market has fluctuated so much. If I didn't sell homes myself, how would I possibly give the best advice to my agents, right? And so I do think it's important to stay somewhat in the game and have your finger on the trigger in that sense.
You obviously have been an individual producer starting in Maryland, it sounds like, and then even in the short year here in Tampa, and then you got into this team side pretty quickly. So that's been 3 years now, I guess, that you've been building a team and working with the team. Are there certain components of both of those roles that you love or miss, or do you really love the team component that much more? What's been your experience been like in kind of comparing those two opportunities?
Managing a team is much more long game than working with a client and selling properties. We all say in real estate that a client is lifelong, but at the end of the day, most realtors fall flat on that, right? After we close the transaction, maybe we'll do a couple of follow-up calls, but more than likely that relationship is over until they're ready for another real estate need. When you have an agent on your team, that is in perpetuity, right? Until something changes for them or for you. They learn things and they grow and they blossom right in front of you, and you get to watch not just them be rewarded, but their family be rewarded and their clients get rewarded. So it's a lot bigger, in my opinion, in that way. That being said, there's still something about the thrill of selling real estate, right? I always joke with my team that it's almost like a high, right?
Just
it's an addiction.
To the closing table, right?
It's an addiction, absolutely. And there's the highest highs and the lowest lows, and there's just something really fun about it.
Sure. I can understand that. So I can see how for someone who really does have a passion about the client experience and the sales side of that business, where that could be missed if you're focused all your energy on the team building side. But as you said, and I've had some experience in building teams as well, there's a relationship component to that that's
Yeah.
pretty special.
Yeah.
If they're in it for the right reasons and you can build with the people you like.
Yeah.
So it sounds like most of your time now is focused on recruiting, supporting your existing team. Are you still growing? Is that like an aggressive pursuit, or is it more organic? If people come, they come, and my systems are based on supporting who I currently work with.
Yeah, so I am currently hiring, not as ferociously as I was in the beginning, right? We're sitting at about 35 agents right now, which is
Nice.
really comfortable. But I also hire based on lead flow. So if I have leads in an area, then I need to hire another agent. I will say that, we started doing the mentorship program this year on my team, and that has allowed me to bring in completely brand new agents. And that has had its own struggles and
Mm-hmm.
triumphs, right? So yes, but looking for the right person a lot more.
Yeah. So the 35 you have, are they all focused in the Tampa Bay market?
Yeah, so we span all of Pinellas, Hillsborough, and then part of Polk County. We go over to Winter Haven.
Okay.
That is our teams area. And then, of course, Robert Slack has teams all across the state of Florida, and we've
Right.
just expanded into other states as well.
Yeah. How big is
Yeah.
Robert Slack as a brokerage? It started in Florida, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So they started in Florida. We actually just celebrated our 9-year anniversary. So for, 9 years, we've been growing. We encompass all of Florida. We just expanded into Georgia. So we have 2 teams there, one in Atlanta, one in Middle Georgia. We just opened up in Colorado.
Oh, nice.
And counting. Like,
Gotcha.
we're taking over the world.
What do you think is different about the Robert Slack brokerage and culture and, that experience compared to maybe others that are out there?
I mean, from the agent perspective, it's value first. Like, we invest $3,000 to $4,000 a month in every single agent that is on board our leads team. Between the technologies that we offer them, the leads that we're giving them, and then obviously we've got team leaders and other support staff there for them as well. I think most other brokerages, I don't want to talk bad about any teams, but there's a give me first kind of aspect to it. And Robert Slack has an amazing family culture. The fact that I got down here, literally didn't know anybody. My team became my family. And that's kind of what you were speaking to earlier. Yes, they absolutely adore me, but I adore them just the same back. Like, I'm obsessed with each and every one of them. And we truly are a community, when I don't know that you get that in a lot of places. I know that people say that.
Right.
And just like I'm saying it, but I don't know. There's something really special about the culture that we have at Robert Slack.
What's the makeup of your team like? Is it mostly younger agents? Is it more seasoned veteran agents? Is it everything in between?
Everything. So my youngest agent, I call him Baby James to his face, so I can say that on here.
Shout out to Baby James out there.
He just turned 22. We actually celebrated his 21st birthday on that boat last year
Oh,
with
wow.
the Real Producers.
Okay.
Yeah. And then my oldest agent is 76.
Wow. So there is a lot of diversity.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We have people from all different countries, all different walks of life, all different backgrounds. And that is, I think, part of what makes it so much fun.
Yeah.
You never know
cool.
what you're going to get. Yeah.
And also for you as a team leader, like, there's a lot of growth in that, and just you learning how to be able to work with so many different types of personalities, and their needs are going to be very different. So there's a lot of, that takes a certain level of maturity and being able to be a great coach to reach these different people and find them where they're at,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
No, I really do, because I've had that similar experience in certain businesses where, like, our team has been all over the map with different needs and ages and situations and backgrounds. And it's not the easiest thing in the world to do when most people kind of resonate with one particular leadership style. Maybe that's their go-to. And when you have such a diverse team, that doesn't always work. So having to figure that out is always a challenge. Do you consider yourself, Sam, as someone like, is leadership something that you really are passionate about, that you try to develop and that you even like work on to grow in, or is that a space that you feel like is really the core to what you do right now?
Absolutely. I think that as a self-diagnosed perfectionist with a little bit of OCD and all those things, I'm constantly grilling myself about how I could have handled something better, or how I could do better in the future, or how I can evolve to do what you were just talking about, right? Coach at all these different levels to all these different perspectives. That is the only thing that is going to push my team forward, right? I've got great agents. They've got great skills. Yes, we can train. Yes, we can work on skills. But at the end of the day, it's how am I going to lead them better?
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's something that I'm heavily investing in right now.
That's cool. I'm a big fan of John Maxwell's stuff. I don't know if you've ever checked out his work, but some people call him the leadership guru. So
Okay.
he's got a ton of, I think he has like 200 books or something.
Wow.
So he's been around for a while, but he has some of the best content that I've seen on leadership development. So
Okay.
something that you can check out, I think
Yeah.
would be helpful. He's one of my favorite books that he wrote is called The 17 Laws of Teamwork, or 17 Indispensable Laws of Teamwork, I believe. And it's all these different workshops really that you can run with a team.
Okay.
And I think it makes a lot of sense for real estate teams as well.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
yeah,
John Maxwell. Check
John
it out.
Maxwell. You can't
Got
go
it.
wrong by following some of his content for sure. So you now, I mean, 35 agents is a pretty big team. So you got your hands full there with a pretty big group. What did the team produce over the last year? Do you know?
So 22, we did 180 million in change. We did 431 units. This year we have 155 pending and close, 155 million. So, I think everybody's kind of taken a little bit of a dip. We're all feeling a slowdown, but I feel like we're going to get to that 180 again.
And in the Robert Slack's program, like you described earlier, how you got into this, you interviewed for this team leader role fairly quickly, right? Within your first year. Is that something that anyone has an opportunity to get into as well? Or is it just, was there a need that they were looking for and just in this market like Tampa Bay and that just happened to be like a perfect storm for you? How does that, if someone else wanted to be a team leader, is that a program that anybody can pursue?
So it's going to be based on availability. Yes, perfect storm for me. It just kind of worked out. I started as the team leader for Hillsborough, and then we merged with Pinellas, then we got some Polk. But in our other states that we're expanding to, I would say that if somebody's interested, they should definitely reach out to our leadership team because we're definitely looking.
Okay, cool. So your quote unquote territory, are you the only team leader in Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Polk? So anybody who would work as an agent in this market would be working directly with you?
Under the leads team. So I know this is going to be a little confusing, but we do offer different models for our agents. I obviously run the leads division team here in Tampa Bay.
Gotcha.
We also have a 100% brokerage. We have a traditional team. We have a salaried team, and those span all across the state.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to be with Robert Slack, but you prefer the 100% model, we've got a spot for you. If you want to be with Robert Slack, maybe you're not as experienced, so you're not ready to be on a leads team, or you're only part-time, the traditional division is a place for you. And then our salary division is for, it's really hard to make the jump into real estate, right? So if you're working like a corporate 9 to 5, you have this stable income. How do you find the time to make that segue? So that's what the salary division is for.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that there was all those different options. So I don't think that's as normal either with some of the other brokerages that I'm aware of. They've really tried to customize different solutions based on where people are at, huh?
Yeah. We want to essentially have an agent for their career.
Right.
We want to be able to start an agent off in Slack Academy, which is okay, you just got your real estate license and you literally have no idea what to do. Let's take you through all of our systems, how to manage a CRM, how to work a lead, how to write an offer, appraisals, financing, like all of that stuff to get you to the closing table. Now you actually have training for how to do your job because God knows we didn't get it when we got licensed.
Right.
Go to our traditional division, get support and training, close 3 to 4 deals, come to the leads division, grow a great sphere business, go to our 100% division.
Yeah.
So we can encompass the life of a realtor.
That's cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like that. Every now and again, I get agents who come to our panel series. As you're probably aware of, we run a monthly panel at Whiskey Cake. And there's at times newer agents there who are just trying to learn, and they're kind of, like a chicken with their head cut off in a way.
Yeah.
And so knowing more of specifics as to like what Robert Slacks brings to the table, it's always good for me to know who I can maybe make some connections to and introductions to. So thanks for sharing that. What do you think you love the most about being a team leader?
What do I love the most? There is, particularly with brand new agents, but even some seasoned agents that are just new to our systems, there's like a moment where they get it. And it clicks and you can see it in their eyes and you can hear it in their voice, and then you just watch the next few months, and that moment is absolutely my favorite thing.
That's cool. Seeing the breakthroughs.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Light bulbs go off.
Yes. Yes.
I can see that, and I can relate to that as well. It is a cool moment when you feel like, you know what, I remember when you were the baby in the business, and now look where you are today. That's pretty cool. Think about, is there a particular challenge that you feel like you've had to overcome, that you struggled with possibly in the role? Or even one you may be going through now that is still something that you're working on and getting better and better at. But I think people learn a lot from our failures and our challenges. So is there anything that you can share there that you feel like would be worth it, that's been a a good experience for you.
Yeah. One of the hardest lessons I had to learn in taking on this position is that everybody's different. And even though I have a type A brain and I want it to be such and such and such, and that makes sense to me, you have to meet people where they are. And my biggest obstacle with, or the reason why that was so hard for me to swallow is because I always want to be equitable, right? I want to treat everybody exactly the same. I never want there to be a preferential treatment or a question about that. But there's a difference between treating somebody different in your coaching or in your accountability style or whatever, and then treating them with preferential treatment, right?
Yeah.
So that was really difficult for me to learn. I'm still working on it every day. I think the other thing that I really struggle with, and I'm getting better, Kendall Bonner said this to me: hire slow, fire fast.
Sure, yeah.
I know that's a very common expression, but she's the first one that said it to me, and it really stuck with me because, man, I need to fire faster. I'm kidding, guys.
No, that could be a huge time suck when you don't.
I think it's really hard to give up on somebody for me. And you know that, like, if they just did this one thing, or if they just tried a little bit harder, they could be so amazing. But at the end of the day, you can't want it for somebody more than they want it for themselves.
Yeah,
and
totally.
So, you know, but
My mentor taught me that 2 years ago. One of my mentors, that the concept that as a leader, we tend to always look at people with rosy colored glasses and have this belief that we can either fix them or just help them get through their challenges, because we tend to believe in them more than they usually believe in themselves. Right.
Yep.
And ultimately, that's not usually a formula for long-term success. It's okay in spurts, because everybody sometimes needs that little boost from a leader that maybe proves to them that, you know what, I can do this. But at some point they have to own it, right? And take on the challenges head on, or else it just gets exhausting, especially for the leader who's working with those people. So that is a fine line. That
fixer role is not really part of the job description either, right? In any kind of leadership position, it's not your job to fix somebody.
True.
Even though you might feel a personal responsibility to do it. So it's a tough thing to grapple with.
No doubt. What do you get excited about when you think about moving forward rest of this year into next year? Are your goals focused on volume oriented? Are they focused on the number of team members that you want to serve? Are you focused on like productivity per team member? What are some of your important metrics that you really go after and that are important to you?
Yeah. My big thing over the past year and a half, maybe 2 years now, has been brand awareness. So Robert Slack's the number one team in the state of Florida, but how many people have you talked to Robert Slack about and they don't know us?
Yeah,
right?
Not many. Yeah.
So that's something that we've really been working on. Picking up the listing side of the business has been a huge help to that. So we're going to continue growing that. I would like to double our listings in the next year. I think we're going to do about 150 this year.
And do you think the key to that is through just more agents, or through more productivity per agent?
I think it's a couple things. I think, we've predominantly been a buyer lead business, so we've really heavily invested in seller leads this year. I think it's also skill training on how to generate listings and how to get those listings. So if you have an agent that's almost only been a buyer's agent, they don't know how to have those conversations or how to procure that kind of business. And I think that's somewhere that we could definitely use more time and energy spent. So that's something that we will be focusing on for sure. But of course, it's volume based on.
Sure.
We're all here for the money.
That is real estate, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Does the Robert Slack culture set any sort of like goals or objectives or benchmarks that they expect you to execute? Or is it more of like you're really independent and you can set your own goals and own objectives? How does that relationship work?
I'm sure that if things were to just completely fall off,
they'd be stepping in.
I'm sure, absolutely. But no strict parameters that we have to hit or anything like that. Conversion is probably one of the biggest metrics that we hit on, because we do invest so heavily in leads. The expectation is that we're going to convert those leads.
That makes sense.
And as a company in whole, we've really done a lot of work to increase conversions on every lead source that we have. I think my team's sitting at about an average of 5% on our realtor.coms right now, which is above the norm for realtor.coms. And then our Zillows, I think Robert Slack as a whole is converting them at about like 12-15%, which is pretty high as well.
Yeah, it is. Is there still a heavy focus on teaching the team how to self-generate as well, like in terms of all those different prospecting strategies that are out there? Or what percentage of your deal flow is from lead gen versus self-gen?
So sphere business on my team is about 30%. It's not crazy high because obviously we have you in the leads division so that you're converting our leads. And that's why we created those other divisions. If we have an agent that's really ready to sustain themselves in their own business, go to 100%. That's the perfect spot for you. However, as the market tightens, I think it's just going to become more relational than it has been over the past few years. The COVID frenzy is over and people want to actually have conversations and get to know you and work with people that they like and trust.
Yeah.
So it is somewhere that we're going to be spending a good amount of time in 2024 is generating those referrals and creating your own sphere business. In Maryland, when I was independent, all of my mentors were on the Buffini system, and nobody I've talked to down here follows the Buffini system.
I've heard of it though.
Bonkers to me. But it's huge. It's client appreciation events. It's, door knocking and all of that good stuff that absolutely still works and has a lasting impact because you're maintaining those past client relationships.
Yep.
So yeah.
That has come up a couple of times and on the panels that we've done, over the last year and a half, the Buffini system. So I can't remember exactly who brought it up or what the context was, but I remember hearing that a few different ways. So I guess there are some people utilizing it down here.
Good.
I don't know who they are, but they're out there somewhere, shape, or form. For people who might not know you that much yet, Sam, they're learning more about Robert Slack so far, hopefully, in this conversation. And maybe there's some agents out there who are thinking about joining a team or are not happy in their current scenario, or maybe they're just thinking about getting licensed for the first time and find some of this conversation appealing. To get to know you better, you mentioned earlier you're married. Do you have kids?
No.
No children yet. So do you guys want some one day?
Maybe. Big maybe.
Big maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
So
big millennial maybe.
You have time, probably. You have time, one would hope. You're talking to a man with 5 children, so we could talk all day about all that whole experience and that whole side.
Yeah.
But what do you guys love to do for fun? What keeps you and your husband, entertained when you're not so focused on real estate? If you even have any time to have some of the balance in your life.
Right. I will say I need to do better about that, and I've been working on that this year for sure. But we have 2 dogs, and we now have a cat. So they keep us pretty busy. We love to travel, so we just did 3 weeks in Europe this past summer. We went on a cruise with the entire family right before that. So looking forward to more trips. I really want to go to Montana.
Nice.
Which I know is so cliche, but I just watched Yellowstone and I need to go. Need to go.
I have been to Big Sky before.
Have you?
It's awesome. Yeah. I did. What's that called when you're on the cables?
Zip lining?
Zip lining. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. So we did, and it was like I've done zip lining a few different places, and that was by far the longest. It was like from a mountaintop to another portion of the mountain. And it was the length of I think 2 or 3 football fields.
Wow.
And yeah, it was intense, but it was so much fun. It was cool. Yeah.
It looks
the air is different out there too. It just feels
sure.
crisp and
yes.
Yeah, it was a cool experience, no doubt. I was there for about a week. This was a couple years ago now though.
Very cool.
Yeah.
We've done quite a bit of traveling. So, for our honeymoon, we did a month backpacking through Europe. We studied abroad together in Fiji. We got engaged in Puerto Rico. It's definitely a passion. And I will say that COVID definitely put a damper on that.
Right.
Moving and all the, uncertainty and starting a new business put a damper on that. But this past summer really highlighted that we need to get back into it. So I'm excited.
Do you have a favorite place you've been to?
Nothing will surpass the beauty of the Fiji Islands.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been yet, you need to go.
It's on my list. I have not, but I would love to check it out.
It's a hard plane ride to swallow, right? It's like $2,000, 16 hours. It's
that
brutal.
is a flight.
Yeah, you have to have a lengthy trip in order to make it count. But
or get some nice point upgrades so you can just spread out a little bit. Huh?
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's a beautiful country. Everybody there is so kind, and it's also very inexpensive. And
Did you get to stay in one of those overwater hut type things?
So we didn't do that. We were in college and very poor. What we ended up doing, the school it wasn't very difficult, right? So we had 4-day weekends every weekend. We just kind of resort hopped. You could stay at hostels for $2 a night.
Yep.
And it was good.
I've done that lifestyle for a little bit, not in Fiji, but in some couple other markets for sure. But that is on my list. It's definitely something that I've talked to my wife about. I wanted to check out. Taking 5 kids there, it's a totally different story. That might be a totally different animal, but we'll see.
Gosh.
We'll see how that shakes out. Couple go rapid fire things, just again for getting people to know you a little bit better. So do you have a favorite book or maybe author or even a seminar that you've attended that you feel like has made a big impact on you personally or professionally?
The book that I recommend to all of my agents is Too Nice for Sales by Barry Jenkins.
Cool.
Relatively new book, different perspective than what you usually hear. And I think that it speaks to the majority instead of the minority that's like this really aggressive sales type person, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend that.
Say it again.
Too Nice for Sales
I
by
haven't
Barry
heard of
Jenkins.
it. Too Nice for Sales.
It's
cool.
very quick read, but it really goes through his story about how he was too nice for sales and now he has this huge business. So
Nice.
That's been really impactful. I'm not a voracious reader. Right now I'm reading The Real Anthony Fauci, but it's taking forever because it's this big and the words are this big.
Yeah. I'm tackling a book like that too right now. But
Yeah.
It's Tony Robbins wrote a book called Life Force. It's like a 650-page book, but it's more about health. So I'm just fascinated by all the modern, organic technology around how to be able to defeat diseases and all these other things. And so it's kind of cutting breakthrough things, but it's a big book. 650 pages. It takes a while. It's and I actually do read a lot, but that one's taken me some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
So Anthony Fauci's story, that should be interesting, huh?
Yeah,
you learning some things, some behind the scenes stuff about Fauci or what?
I think the past couple of years, again, don't want to get too far into it, but I think the past couple of years, maybe it's just because I'm an adult now and I get to see these things and I care about politics and they're affecting me personally, and the rules that are decided about taxes really greatly affect me now, right? I don't know if it's that or if it's that since COVID, we've all kind of opened our eyes a little bit more.
Yeah, I would say so.
Right?
It was a bit of a awakening for a lot of people.
I mean, within a month, we had people quarantined to their house and you weren't allowed to leave and you were told not to go outside, even though that makes no sense at all.
Right.
I
get it.
Yeah.
I do totally get it. I don't think you're the only one. I mean, I think that hopefully was an awakening for many, many people. And hopefully, we wouldn't allow it to happen ever again, even if certain government agencies wanted it to,
Right.
So, but I didn't even know that he had like did he write it or was it someone?
So it's written by Robert Kennedy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
RFK Jr.
Yeah, he's been out there saying some stuff over the last year or so. I wonder if I don't think he's going to actually run, but we'll see.
I mean, he's trying, I think.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't know that they will let him.
Right. That's a whole other story.
Right.
Interesting. We could probably talk about that too. That's a whole other podcast episode now. We're talking about Sam. Okay, another one. Do you have a favorite movie or TV show?
So this is probably my most embarrassing quality. When I watch TV, I want to turn my brain off completely. It's all junk. It's all absolute crap. Like the worst reality TV that you can possibly imagine.
Or like Jerry Springer type stuff?
Okay, maybe not. Maybe not that. Because that's not even live
anymore,
anymore,
that's not
right?
how I see you at all.
That's
like
not a thing.
I would be like, wow, I'm so shocked that you're into that.
No, I like game shows, so like Survivor. I'm a diehard Survivor fan.
Okay.
It's always shot in Fiji too, so it's just like a little bit of nostalgia.
There you go.
Real Housewives, just like, junk.
Got you.
Junk.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's reality TV, I guess, right?
Right, but it is
Hollywood
nice
reality.
If you work constantly to just turn it off.
Yeah, I actually in the same way, but mine is more about sports. Like that's my turn off.
Okay.
So I'll just zone out and watch a game, and that's kind of like a daily thing at night, whatever it might be playing, depending on the seasons.
Whatever it is.
Yeah,
So
football
are
and
you
baseball is
big
kind of my
football?
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, football and baseball.
This year I am in a fantasy league and a pick'em league, and I'm not a sports girl, but it's always on. Right.
Yeah.
So if it's always going to be on, I better be invested. And I already told you I'm a little bit of a gamer.
Do you actually know the players that you're picking for fantasy?
DJ Moore last night crushed it.
Blew
for
it up,
me.
and he was on my team too. So I'll take
amazing.
Yeah. 56
Amazing.
points, I think. Thank you, DJ. That works.
Yeah. And I drafted Tyreek Hill too. So that's been really
Ooh,
good. Yeah.
You got a nice little squad there.
Yes.
Yeah. Not
Pick
too
'em,
bad.
not so good. Not as good at that. But
is this a Robert Slack team thing or no?
No. The guys in my friend group always do one every year, and this year is like, hey, do you think maybe I could join too?
So do you like football? Do you watch the games?
I'm again not super into sports, but they're on in my house all day. My husband watches them.
He's a big fan.
So like I'm going to be there. I'm going to be watching. This at least gives me some kind of level of investment, and it makes it fun.
There you go. That makes sense. I wish my wife would adopt that attitude. No.
Give her the rush of drafting next year. You never know.
She's actually a sweetheart. She lets me watch Sundays after we go to church in the morning. We're home usually by 1, right in time for a 1 o'clock kickoff.
Yep.
And that's kind of our time to veg out. And just she allows me to do my thing. Kids play generally around me. My 2 boys are now really getting into football, though, too. So they'll want to watch the games with me.
Nice.
But most of the time, they're either running up and down the stairs, and then they're not chilling with me for sure. Do you have a favorite food?
I again, just a basic answer, sushi. Sushi's my thing. My husband does not enjoy eating sushi because I like eating it so much now. Like I've
You
ruined
spoiled
it
it
for
for
him.
him.
Yeah.
It's a damn
We
shame.
had a rule anytime I had a closing that first year down here, we would go get sushi.
Yeah.
We had 36 closings
That's
that
a good
year.
celebratory meal.
He was over it. Yeah.
You're closing too many deals, Sam.
Yeah.
You're ruining it.
Yeah. Maybe we eat something else. Yeah.
Even though I could probably swallow that. I'm a huge sushi fan myself.
Yeah.
36 closings, bring it on.
Right.
Man, keep on coming.
Need more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That works. Is this like a trait that you've gotten the team to celebrate every deal that they close as well?
I
kind of like that.
I try to enforce it. I think it's important. And it doesn't have to be big, right? Like going out and eating sushi, what are you spending? It's not
Right.
crazy money. You can, but it doesn't have to be crazy money. I think
Whatever it is, just some form of celebration. Right?
positive reinforcement.
Totally.
We're all Pavlovian, right?
Yeah.
We've got that. So do it for yourself.
Got to ring that bell,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
I think it makes a lot of sense. And that's actually like a psychological component too, when you really study into it. Because so many people, especially in real estate and any entrepreneurship venture, are so hardwired to just work, right? And produce. And then we can achieve a result. And it's almost like we just are focused on the next thing rather than actually taking that step back and taking and almost forcing yourself to celebrate, because what that does is it really changes your whole perspective on the journey and the process and the enjoyment and ultimately the fulfillment that comes from work. So I think it's smart from any team leader component to have maybe a system in place that almost like encourages and recognizes those types of celebrations.
Yeah.
So that would be fun. I know if I was a team leader, that's what I would be doing anyway, for sure. So we're going to wrap up here in a minute. I appreciate you taking the time you did to join us, and hopefully people got some good insights from our combo so far. And I feel like we can go in a lot of different directions. I'll probably have to have you back on another episode here one day. But one of my favorite questions to ask, and this will be neat because you're such a young and vibrant woman who probably feels like you have a lot of time ahead of you for building your career and your business. But at some point, right, we all sit on that rocking chair and look back and say, what are we most excited about? What do we most want to be remembered for, right? And so I call this the legacy question. When you think about your role, Sam, and this could be professionally or personally, what do you think would be most important to you? And what would you like to be most remembered for when you think back in those days when you're in that rocking chair years to come?
This is like the toughest question.
Yeah, we saved that for last.
This is the toughest. I think that it is important to me to be remembered for my kindness and my generosity, but also that I kick butt. You know what I mean? I grew up tough. Really had to support my siblings. I've had almost all of my siblings live with me in their adult lives, and 3. I think that there are a lot of people that have hard things happen, right? Mm-hmm. And they don't bounce back. They don't make that decision to push forward, and they kind of let it eat them up. And then they treat everybody wrong for all these things that have happened to them. And I never want that to be me. I want to far exceed my circumstances. I want to treat everybody with kindness, and I want to be the most generous because I could have really used that at a certain point in my life.
Sure.
So right now at 29, that's my answer, and I reserve the right to change it should I so choose.
That's a good caveat there at the end for sure. Wow, 29 years old, and you've built up a great team and have accomplished a lot. So it's exciting. Yeah, no doubt. You should be proud. And I'm sure your husband's probably really proud of you as well for what you've built so far. And the future's exciting. Let's see what happens in the next years to come, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to, if anybody wants to reach out to you, Sam, so as we said, we never know who comes across one of these episodes. It could be a new agent. It could be an experienced agent. It could be someone who's just starting a team for the first time. If anybody wants to pick your brain more about Robert Slack, about just team development, about anything that we discussed, what's the best, and you can look in that camera, I guess, to say it. Rob is giving me the finger over here. So what would be the best way for people to reach you, contact you? We'll make sure we throw it up on our descriptions and on our screen. You can speak it into the camera, I guess. Okay. So best way to reach out to me, send me an email, samantha.boyd@robertslack.com, or send me a DM on Instagram. It's going to be @SamanthaBoyd_. So super easy. And I'm always open to help. So feel free to reach out. I love those millennials. They love Instagram. You got to follow them on the gram. That's what it's all about nowadays, people. All right, we're going to wrap up the episode, and we always end with a challenge, right? Because that's the whole point. If you're going to take the time to watch this episode and listen to it, if you're in the car, if you're watching the YouTube video at home, hopefully you're not watching the YouTube video while you're driving. What is one action step, right, that you can take from this conversation that is going to help you move forward personally and professionally? Maybe it's one of the books that we brought up as a recommendation. Maybe you need to look into what Robert Slack has to offer if you liked a lot of the things that Sam brought up. Maybe you want to just reach out to Sam to have a conversation. Maybe you have been kind of on the fence about doing this whole team leader thing, or you have a similar opportunity that you've been debating, whether you want to go down that road. And based on our conversation, maybe it encouraged you to go ahead and take the leap, right? There's all kinds of different things that we dove into in the last 40 minutes or so. Then can you take one action step from this conversation that'll help you move forward? And if you do, then of course your time was worth it in investing and watching this episode. So we will see you, of course, on the next episode of Tampa Bay Real Producers, and we'll see you then.